Hi, I'm Maria back with another video. It is 8:52 a.m. It is December 14th, Saturday morning, and I got up I think about an hour and a half ago. I usually get up a little bit earlier. Actually, was awake, but I didn't actually get out of the bed until like just recently. So I did. I was an early riser, which I kind of take pride in. Anyway, so, I made a video last night and I was like, just my hands have just I've just been throwing my hands up in the air at this because, when I think of the chain reaction of scapegoating, how it constantly rolls over into, snowballs into just this huge enormous amount of like bullshit, to where, people are making mistakes and then they're allowing you to carry the burden of their mistake. And like, for example, when I mentioned the CPA and all these people that were in the wrong doing what they're doing, and then when you want protection, you want justice, you want to make sure that you're feeling safe, then once again you're the one who's like the one who's to blame. You're the one who's bringing up the negative subject. Why don't you just be quiet about it? Blah 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 blah, sweeping everything under the carpet. So where I end up shouldering the burden. So I think of this and I do get very upset. Because like I mentioned in my video last night, I have dealt with the workplace mobbings for so long, and any sort of environment that I would be in, concurrently. Like if I was in a particular training session, or I had to go to a particular meeting, or anything, whether it's meeting at work, school, whatever, these people have kept track of my whereabouts, what I'm doing, and they invade my environment. Now, what bothers me the most is when this affects my work, because my work, everybody knows that in order for you to survive, you need to have a job, okay? And when I think of the abuse that constantly gets carried out, by these people, especially in the workplace, I have developed certain phobias and fears and almost an illness when it comes to work-related issues now, because and it's sad because I have to work. I don't have a choice, and I don't know or feel comfortable or feel safe with this particular entourage that I'm dealing with, because they don't respect boundaries. They don't respect my will. They tend to belittle, undermine, disrespect things that I say, regardless of how I feel or the validity of the request that I'm making. And so how is it that you can feel safe with people like that? If you're the kind of person who gets mobbed out of your job based on their bullying, okay, and then it goes out into the street and these people continually want to, take jabs at you, set you up for fake job interviews, use these sort of mind games to you. It's obviously a form of harassment, but it shows that there's a lack of compassion and that there is some sort of vindictive or, and there's really no reason to be vindictive because I never did anything to these people to make them do this, okay? And if we did have an issue, it was something that should have been settled within the family. But I will tell you, it's always been like that. It's always been that way. So, or they just feel resentment towards you, jealousy, competition, whatever it is. And it's like, and all this is being played out in the open. And there's a lot of, and so when I think of work, I now associate it with abuse. And that's one of the main reasons why it's very difficult for me to get a handle on my job search. Okay, on top of the fake job ads, on top of the fake job interviews, on top of all the other bullshit. It's because of that reason. Every time I've worked for one of these companies where, my family was in the driver's seat of this issue, it has always led to something negative. Always. Okay? And so all I know is that, in the past, all the things that I've done, and what I'm gathering from this right here is that all the things that I've done has just been some sort of charitable act where I didn't benefit from. Because I will tell you, for example, my work over at the farmer's place, I did exceptional work at the farmer's place, okay? And so the very fact that it's very difficult for me to get a reference, or they want to, you know, just take what I did over there and then crumple it up and act like it never happened, that's abusive already, okay? And then constantly giving me stuff that, you know, it's below my skill level. It's like, you know, and then, you know, getting angry at me or bullying me to like conform to their way of living, their religion and everything, in order to hang on to the, you know, crappy jobs that they give me. It's like these people are like monsters, okay? And you make a shitload of videos. Like I made like thousands of videos, okay? Over 1,000 videos, okay, on this subject already. And it took a very long time for people to realize what was going on. You know, and obviously, you know, the length of this issue. So, you know, when you've been traumatized, tormented, or terrorized, I'm going to say terrorized, that's a very good word for it, terrorized in the workplace, out of the workplace, and then you know that in order to survive, to put food in your mouth, to have a roof over your head, you have to work. So what comes to mind when I think of looking for work? I just think of it as like this abusive system where people are just assholes, you know, and then I can't trust people, you know, and that's how I feel. I feel that way. And my, you know, people that I used to know put me in this situation. That is a very morbid feeling. And that's one of the reasons why I feel so disturbed. And I get on these, on my camera or my computer or whatever, and I start talking because I have this, it's a morbid feeling that somebody would do something like this. It literally strikes me as like, almost as if somebody tried to shoot me. That's exactly how I feel. I don't feel as though that this was something that was, it was obviously very malicious, and it shows that there was underneath it, it's a hate crime. You know, which I've talked about before. So, you know, when you hear me talking over and over and over about this subject matter, you have to understand why I feel this way. Because all of this has been, you know, an exploitation of my skills, my time, my life, okay, that these people thought was a game and that they completely had no respect for. You know, and I had no idea that these people were behind my stuff. But what I'm saying is, I feel as though what I got in my life, or what happened to me, was not fair at all. Like the bullying was ridiculous, the manipulating, the situation. And I don't like talking about it all the time, but you know, this is what they've left me to talk about. And because now they resent the fact that I'm sitting here talking about it, that it's affected my life in the manner that it has, I'm the person that nobody wants to hear. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear my problems, even though they've caused the problem. You see what I'm saying? So it is very frustrating, you know, the situation that they put me in, you know, and then they're like, well, to solve the problem, just convert and be, you know, go to this dumb church and, you know, wear, like, you know, baggy clothes, like, you know, sweats and sweats and sweatshirts and tennis shoes. And, you know, you just be everything that you fucking hate, in order to hang on to the job that you fucking hate. I will tell you that these people are evil, you know, and that's exactly how I feel about them. They want to dominate and monopolize everything, you know, and then they taint things, like, you know, they associate with people that you think are kind of nice or whatever, and then it makes you wonder and leery of the people that, you know, you encounter. You know what I mean? These people to me are like the epitome of demonic entities that I don't want anything to do with. You know what I mean? Or some sort of energy force or whatever. It's just, you know, it's like people that are ignorant who have a hard time accepting the answer no. Like, and you stand up for your rights and they still reject it. It's like a rapist coming at you full force, or somebody who's going to get ready to plunge a knife into your throat. You know, coming at you full force. You know, you're trying to shield, you're trying to block, but they're coming at you anyway, super speed. You know, and it's like, my God, you know, and now I think they do understand how fucked up their shit is, okay? But, you know, whether they, you know, I know they're coming to realize just how bad they treated me. The fact is that, you know, they knew that it was, may not have known that it was against the law, but they did know that it was rude. They did know that it was putting me in a very uncomfortable situation. They did know that I was being cheated. They did know that I was working my ass off, and they fucking enjoyed not giving me what I deserved, you know? And like I said, you know, if it was an issue of me being here in this community, I was willing to move to somewhere else. You know, but these people, oh, you know, we're going to fucking keep this bullying shit and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. And it's like, you know what, this is wrong. It's wrong, you know, and it's wrong, you know, that I'm even in this situation, that I'm even living this life, that, you know, basically, oh my God, that's why I had to stand up for myself, because they have pushed me into conditions that it's like, this doesn't reflect the needs, wants, and my personal, and they want me to sacrifice my life for a family that has done nothing for me. I don't give a fuck about Jim Colligan. I really don't. You know, and that includes his wife, his bitch wife, you know, Tanya Colligan. I don't care about her. Why should I care about these people? You know, they don't understand boundaries. They don't respect me. You know, and what's more important, and the most important issue, is the fact that I never invited them in. I never said, hey, you know, do this. I already mentioned that before. You know, I never, you know, gave my consent to this. And then it just goes overboard. And then they're like takers. Like, they just can't stop taking shit. You know? It's like they just feel like, you know, they want to involve themselves in my life to the point of where, you know, I'm literally disgusted. Like, my goodness. Anyway. So today, you know, I'm just taking time out and I'm playing it by ear. I get hard on myself because, you know, I'm the kind of person, I like doing stuff all the time. But it's very draining because you lose motivation. And the reason why you lose motivation is because you know that every time you have supplied, you know, or you've applied yourself to something over and over and over and over and over and over again, what was the result every time you applied yourself to something that these people felt that they had control over? I knew that somehow or another I was going to get shortchanged, abused, or some other bullshit. So then you're just like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do. How many times have I attempted to find another job? I mentioned the times that I took the resumes down to the shredders, okay? I told you how much I've worked. Even after I took them to the shredder, I was still trying to look for work. Still doing everything I possibly could, right? But these people had a situation in place. So I knew every time I try to do something that I'm getting blocked, some bullshit's going to happen. If I get to the interview, then there's bullshit going on. And I'm tired of it. I don't deserve to be deprived of my rights, especially for the reasons that I suspect that they may have used, whether these are legitimate reasons or they are made up. You know, I don't know. Like, for example, I do suspect that, you know, these people foolishly brought up some bullshit that I had some sort of love choice to make. Like, I was between two people, which I wasn't even aware of that. I had no idea. You know what I mean? I had no idea anything about, you know, the guy from high school or, you know, anything like that. Okay, all this was going on behind the scenes. Okay, they, and believe me, you know, I'm glad that I found out what the Graham clan's really about. Okay, I'm very glad about that. But still, they are responsible for the destruction that happened between me and my ex-husband. Okay, now. And I obviously, but I'm glad that I found out about, you know, him and his mom and everything like that. But still, they're behind it. They're behind it all. And then having him conspire against me about my work and all this other shit. And all, you know, all of this that these people cause, they cause so much. And this is one of the main issues that I wanted to bring out about how gang stalking invades every aspect of your life. It literally stomps out. If you have friends, they'll destroy your friendships. Okay? If you have a relationship, they'll destroy your relationship. If you have any sort of business contacts, they'll take your contacts. Okay? It's just everything. Okay? If I owned property, somehow or another, it would affect it. Of course it would, because the chain reaction would be, if you're sitting here, you know, skipping through jobs and stuff like that, you can't really pay your mortgage consistently, right? Because you're off work, they throw you out of a job, you're sitting here on unemployment and whatever. So even in cases like that, it's like they can affect stuff. So if I did own property, there's a good chance that my property would have been, like, you know, foreclosed on or something like that. Okay? Because there's been so much inconsistencies in my employment. It's like, because these people come in with their weird temperament, you know, and their little, you know, issues for whatever reason, and they're all indirect because, like I said, I don't interact with these people. So they'll stalk my Facebook page, and they'll interact with the people that I work with, right? And they don't like something, then they'll sit there and start going off on me. And it's psychotic. It's crazy, And it's like, whatever. But I think people get the gist of it. Sure they do, but I don't feel comfortable anymore. I just feel like I'm dealing with lunatics, like the entire world. Because to me, the first time I made my videos and I gave this information out and I referenced the laws, okay? And so then you want to bring up the religion thing. Like I said, I brought up religious scripture. I brought up issues. I even went up through parables as best as I possibly could to get this to make people understand, okay? And the very first time I did that, okay, this shit should have been nipped in the bud. But the reason why it is because you're dealing with narcissistic people or people who don't respect your will, your rights, okay? And so that's terrifying. That's terrifying. That means that they insist on invading your space. They insist on, imposing their will, and that's scary to me, okay? I understand how I felt when I was growing up. Like, I knew that I was depressed a lot, okay? I knew that I felt better when I left their environment or when I was around them. You know what I mean? I always felt better. I know when I was a teenager, I would go into my room and spend hours just sitting there in silence, and I felt at peace. Like, I could hear them talking in the background when I shut the back door, my bedroom door. I could hear them talking. That was fine. They could stay out there, but I had my own space. And I knew that it made me feel better. When I was by myself, not around them, I felt better. I didn't put the connection together, but the older I got, it made sense. And now that I'm older, it's like, I can see that a lot of the things that have happened in my life is a result of being in that family. You know what I mean? And I have the right to say, I don't want to. When I moved here, it wasn't for me to do that. It was just because the job opportunities weren't really available in the Antelope Valley. And who's to say? You know what I mean? They could have made it that way. And so I not knowing that jobs were I was being blocked from jobs and stuff like that, I decided to move here. Because I will tell you, I have never known the place where I live to be very lush and plentiful in jobs. Okay, now I know it used to have this huge aerospace industry, but I personally didn't want to work. I was working aerospace. That was one of my first, I worked in at Edwards Air Force Base for my first accounting job, okay? I worked at Edwards Air Force Base for my first accounting job, okay? And I really didn't like that environment. In fact, there were times, I liked my job, okay? It was nice, and I stayed there for about almost 4 years. And then I always kept thinking, I'd like to have a job like in Lancaster where I work, where I live, because I bounced back from Cal City and whatever. But still, I kept thinking I would prefer just to stay there. But I never found work there, never. So it's like that's why I moved here, because it was like there were always jobs in the paper. You know what I mean? Always jobs in the paper, and there was always something there. It was very lush and plentiful opportunities, right? So that's why I came out here, okay? And that was it. And who's to say? Like I said, my ex-brother-in-law could have been doing finagling shit even way back then. Who's to say? I don't know. But my point is that I moved here knowing that I was going to leave my family behind, and I would see them like on the weekends or whenever I could on the holidays or whatever. So it's like, I made an effort to step out on my own and take care of my shit. I never asked for that. And it bothers me. It bothers me that I could be held a prisoner of a situation that I never consented to. And I obviously made an effort to stand apart and stand on my own 2 feet. I never wanted like my ex-brother-in-law to come around and see what it is like, I know people compare and contrast. Okay. I think that's one of the issues on Facebook. Like, you see people from high school, and I want to be honest. I'm going to be very honest and upfront about this. I can expect people from high school to probably be in careers that were far much better than mine. Why? Because I had a bullying issue growing up in high school, and I know that my youth was pretty rocky. Okay, so I can expect to see, because I don't really know really what the people from Facebook are doing. To be honest, I don't. Okay, like I'm sure some of them are doctors, some of them could be lawyers, some of them are teachers, some of them doing all kinds of different things, and probably great for them, right? But I don't sit there and like pick on that. What I did when I was on Facebook, I would look at their pictures and see what they were doing, like their faces, and see their kids, like, oh, did they kids look like them? That kind of stuff. Okay. for some people, it's like, well, let's play the one ape game. Some people want to compare each other to like, well, what are you doing now? And then they want to, judge themselves or compare themselves to whatever. And that's not it. I mean, really, I didn't really know too many people in high school. I knew of them, but I wasn't really close to a whole lot of people. I had my few people that I would hang out with, but I didn't like, I didn't really, hang out on Facebook very often. Like, I'd pop in every once in a blue moon. Like, seriously, I rarely got on Facebook. Even back in 2008, like, once I wrote Stephen Lyles, that was, I'm thinking about that. I think that might have wrote him that back in February of 2008. I'm trying to remember. Because I remember, like, I didn't even know what Facebook was. I had no idea what that was really at all, okay? Because, like I said, all I did was go to work and come home. I probably would have found out what it was anyway, because, I had coworkers and people talk, and, and I would have probably heard about it. But I was told by one of my friends from high school, okay, Teresa, it was Teresa. She said, hey, are you on Facebook? And I said, what's Facebook? And she was the one who told me what Facebook was. I shit you not, right? So I said, oh, okay, I'll get on Facebook. And she said, people were on there and blah, 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 blah. So you named a few people. So I got on there, right? And so then I kept thinking, I wonder what, Stephen Lyle's up to. So I wrote him a letter. And then I'm starting to think, okay, what happened from this time to this time? Okay, but whatever the case is, everything is like, it's like spies or like people who are plotting, and then, you get these people who are double agents or whatever. And I feel like, I mentioned before, it's hard for me to feel safe around people because, I don't want any more of my family's bullshit. Okay, I'm an adult now. They shouldn't be in my work. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be like, doing this abusive shit to me and being allowed to do it. They shouldn't be allowed to be doing this, and that's what bothers me so much. It's like, and it disturbs me, because when you think of how adamant they were so adamant about like they were so insistent on like, let me do this, and then they want to force you to cooperate. I don't want these people, which I've said before, okay? And it disturbs me to no end to know that somebody could come in and then somebody expect you to be subjected or subjugate yourself to people that you, number one, don't care about. Number two, you don't even they don't even have any right to do. That's the most important thing. They don't have any right to. Okay. And number three, that I'm gaining no benefit from heeding their advice whatsoever, because they're the ones who want to choose your job. And, in some situations, it's not that bad. Like, for example, I live here in Bakersfield, right? Or, I'm bouncing back Buttonwillow, Bakersfield, these surrounding type areas, okay, where the industries are not quite varied, okay? The biggest industry here is agriculture, and there's also, like, what do you call it, gas or whatever, fuel, whatever. Those are the industries, okay? So, in certain situations, like, I understand, like, because, even though if I had a list and the choice to do certain things, I would say, okay, I would choose certain industries to go into. Things that I thought for like side hobbies, like I said, I like fashion, so it'd be kind of cool for me to do work in a fashion company, right? Because it's like this win-win. You here's your skill that you have, and you can apply it to the industry that you really like. So it's like you're constantly like bubbly, high, and happy, and whatever, So, but here in this town community, there's not very much. So it's like a job's a job, but you are grateful to have that job, mind you, okay? And it doesn't mean that you can't like your job. It's just that, it's just your whatever, okay? So you find the fact that you like the function of your job. You might like the people that you work with. You might like, that sort of environment, okay? So there's certain things that you can deal with, all right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing in a community that's small like this for somebody to choose your job, okay? But then they want these stupid stipulations. They want you to be a religion or in a cult, okay? And they want to break the laws, okay, so that they can benefit. But I will never benefit from that. I would not benefit like that. Let's just say, for example, they wanted me to convert to their cult, right? So then I'm no longer able to be the person that I am. And they want me to just accept their lifestyle, okay? And then they want me to be around the people that they want me to be, and I don't like those people, okay? I'm not saying that I don't like, what I'm saying is, I don't want their world, okay? And it's like they expect too much. They are demanding to the point of where these people are goddamn monsters. They're monsters, okay? And that's one of the reasons why human trafficking is a form of modern day slavery. If you think about how it deprives you of your rights, okay, that is why it is, okay? And that's exactly why it's named that. All right. So I obviously, and I'm not a rebel for saying that he can go kill himself or whatever. I'm not doing his shit. I'm not. I'm standing up for my rights. I know what I can and can't do. Now, in this situation where we're talking about how this could be the reason or part of the reason, okay? And like I said, I'm throwing this out there because I'm tired of the covert shit, okay? Because the covert shit is only making me suffer. So let's just say, for example, they are sitting here arranging my life, okay, because they want me, or they think that maybe I'm supposed to get together with Stephen Lyles, or it's a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor that it is, or that he actually wants to himself, or that maybe they're using this as an excuse or something. But whatever the case is, if you're trying to convert me to be more like Tanya and Jim, or be a part of a particular cult, or change my lifestyle, right? To be able to be rewarded, quote unquote, rewarded with this particular Stephen Lyles as a partner, then it would be of no benefit because it would not be the lifestyle that I would want to live. Okay, it would not be a wonderful experience for me if I had to surround myself with people who were like, my ex brother-in-law, or live that sort of lifestyle. Okay, because I don't respect it. I don't respect it. Not saying I don't respect Christianity. I don't respect spirituality. I've already told you that. I've explained that. I don't respect the way that it's viewed by them, and that's my choice. Okay, but I get dragged into stuff, and the very fact that that they're willing to try to force these issues, okay, goes to show you that they have a very strange, deranged mind. Okay, there's a lot to be said about some of these fundamentalist groups. Okay, some of these fundamentalist groups will be borderline terrorist. They borderline on the terrorist activity. Okay, and I've heard of some people, like, I forgot this documentary, but I did mention a kid that I had spent some time with, and he was talking about how he would kill for Jesus, and he would do all these sort of things that I thought were inappropriate, that coming out of a kid's mouth, coming out of anybody's mouth, but even more shocking, coming out of a child's mouth, that some of these people are highly indoctrinated to do criminal activity. Okay? Some of that includes, human trafficking. Some of it includes even murder. If some kid is going to say, I will kill for Jesus, I'm going to tell you what, they probably would kill for Jesus. Okay? And even though some people might, I don't know who in the world would think that that is a righteous cause. I don't know. Jesus never did that himself. Jesus never bludgeoned anybody or anything like this, and why somebody would think this. But there's a lot of religious groups that are just downright dangerous. They're dangerous. Okay? And like I said, people have to use discernment. They need to be able to understand that, yes, cults exist. All right? And this is cult activity. Anything that is forceful, and we have somebody who forces people to take sides. This is the sort of thing, So I would not be happy living like that, I just wouldn't be. So I resent it all. So anyway, back to the issue of looking for work. I said I'm taking some time to figure things out, and I have to. I have a list of people that I wanted to contact and everything. But I did put the feelers out recently. But I'm sure, like I said, just as sure as like the sun rises tomorrow or whatever, that particular resume was alerted to the main perk. Those 2 resumes that I sent out for test watering. I'm sure they did. Why? Because that was a system that was in place. And I'm tired. I don't want to be subjected to Jim Colligan. It is demeaning. It's demoralizing. It's against the law. And he shouldn't be in my shit. It's that simple. you know, and I'm sorry that he is. Now I feel vulnerable on a lot of levels, because it's like, you know, right now I'm working this job, okay, and I know in the past that they've pulled strings to try to abuse me, you know, and I'm that's why I'm saying it. I don't want to deal with the abuse anymore. The abuse to me has gotten to the point where this is enough. I'm done. You know, and after 1,000 videos, I don't know how many more times I can say it until I feel safe. You know, what I felt like doing a while ago was going over and talking to my mom. And I mean, I wanted to talk to her, and I wanted her to tell me everything. And I was been thinking about that. Because somebody should, I would feel better if somebody would say, you know what, okay, fine. We're going to make sure that he's out of your life. He's not going to hurt you anymore. I want somebody to confirm it to me. I want somebody to look me in the eye and say, it's done. It's not, you're not going to be hurt by this person anymore. They're out of your life. That's what I want to say. I want it to be said to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm disturbed by it. I'm very disturbed by it. You know, and it's sickening to me. You know, I shouldn't have to sit here and be terrified to go to a job interview. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to sit here and worry about, how am I going to take care of myself? What's going to happen to me 10 years from now? I shouldn't. You know what I mean? And to think that there's some selfish asshole that would sit here and allow me to work in the manner that I have, and sit there and get like all nitpicky about, well, I don't know if I should let her have it or not, because you know what? I fucking spend all this time working and I do all this other shit. And it's like, basically what you're doing is you are abusing somebody. Is basically what you're doing. You know? Like I said, I'm not as enthusiastic about work anymore. I'm not, you know, because I do understand that people are fucked up. They are. They're just, I can't even tell you what garbage they are, okay? But still, I mean, I have to. Okay? Because I will not let anybody take care of me. I would not do that. I would not trust anybody to do that. I don't trust anybody at this point, you know? And why should I? You know? And I have good reason to be this way, okay? If your own family is willing to put you in a system like this, who do you trust? You know? And then they want to grab all the people that you know, and it's like these people just blindly go along with it. It's like, if you know that my family talks shit about me all the time, do you honestly think they're going to do me any favors when it comes to providing for myself or taking care of myself? You think these people who hate you are going to help you? Really? Seriously. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I had to rant and get this out of me, because I'm just, you know, hey, I deal with it. You know, it's hard for me to move on and do other things when you don't feel safe. That's just how I feel. So, wrapping up this video. I'll be back with another video later.